This week, I'd like you to consider the difference that presenting ideas to different groups of people can have in a writer or speaker's choice of rhetoric. When we compose an argument, it makes sense to think about the group of people we're addressing. Remember this concept from Wayne Booth's The Rhetorical Stance? If they already agree with what we're saying, the object is more to rally them to action behind our ideas, while a hostile audience will need subtle coaxing even to acknowledge our point of view. Here's how I'd like you to approach this assignment. Choose a fairly simple topic to argue for. For our purposes here, I'd suggest something practical and simple rather than complicated and theoretical. For instance, you might argue for the benefits of homeschooling or online courses, the necessity for teens to have cell phones, or the hazards of fast food, something like that. You can choose something more complex, but it's not necessary, and your task may be a bit more cumbersome if you do. What I'd like you to do is compose a persuasive paragraph about your topic. It doesn't need to be finely nuanced or to consider lots of counterarguments. It should just provide clear reasoning for your point of view. Begin by writing a paragraph to a neutral audience, for example, one who's unlikely to have strong opinions or preconceived ideas about the issue. Then rewrite it using generally the same reasoning but different rhetorical tactics for both a hostile and a sympathetic audience. For instance, if you were persuading about teen cell phone ownership, your sympathetic audience might be a teen who wants a cell phone badly, your hostile audience might be your very opposed parents, and your neutral audience might be a man on the street who doesn't have any teenagers. For all three audiences, though, you're essentially making the same argument, just in different ways. Teens should have cell phones. You don't need to state who your audience is. I'm just giving you these personalities for examples. While you should change some keywords, I'd like you to do more than just that. Each paragraph should be about the same ideas, but you should state and arrange them in different ways, depending on the audience, purposefully. Check out the examples from previous year's classes on the website for some ideas. Keep your paragraphs from becoming too extensive. All three of them together should fit onto about 2 double-spaced pages. I'd like to see you tweak your word choice, your tone, your figures of speech, your metaphors, etc., to engage your audience as necessary. Call it Audience Adaptation Catherine Walker, submitting your name, when you email it to me, and be sure to label each paragraph so I'll know who you're directing it to, whether hostile, neutral, or sympathetic. Here are a number of things you could consider when deciding how to frame your ideas. A hostile audience may come with preconceived objections or hesitations that you could begin by diffusing or making concessions to, while a sympathetic audience your goal might be to move them to make them feel more like insiders, so they'll be moved to action on an issue they already believe in. Both audiences would likely respond to any shared experiences you could relate to them on. Also, consider your diction. You might want to use gentle diction with a hostile audience in some cases, while a sympathetic audience might rally more around strong or loaded terms. Practical arguments may appeal more to a hostile audience, while emotional ones may be more likely to engage a sympathetic group. You might also want to pose rhetorical questions of different kinds in accordance with the established opinions of either group. While these ideas will get you started, follow your instincts about what seems most fitting, and make the moving, most fitting, and logical appeal you can to either group.